Um, I figured I was done work. I did my errands already, and since I'm not going to be sleeping anytime soon, I figured I would come on here for a little bit. Um, this time, I actually want to discuss all of the cash cars that I've had over the past, looks like now about 7 years. This would go back to 2018 to 2025 today. Um, the reason why I've gone the cash car route is because when I had my own delivery business between 2000 and 2013, I went through a bunch of cars and I was always afraid of those cars breaking down. So I thought maybe I'll just get new cars and then they won't break down. Well, that ended up being partially true. So what I ended up doing is from about 2010 to about 2013, I had three different Chevy HHRs. Now, I didn't know anything about the reliability at all for these vehicles, but man, I got work out of them. I put on, between the three vehicles, I put on almost 800,000 miles on them. And what ended up happening to those three cars? Repoed. All of them. So, what a nightmare. I mean, I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever had a car repoed. It is such shame, that they can basically just take your car back because you can no longer make the payments. When I put on that 800,000 miles between those three cars, I was making payments on it. I think it was 5-year loans for all three. And I put that 800,000 miles on all three cars in about 36 months. So I still had 24 months left to, hi. I had about 24,000, or excuse me, 24 months left to pay on all the cars. So it really stunk. It stinks to have to give up your cars. So I decided from that point forward that it was going to be cash cars only. So what I did is I actually went back through my records to the first cash car I had, and these are old. I mean, some of these are probably older than you are, depending on how old you are. So let's talk about the first car. So this was back in 2018. I had a 1995 Honda Civic, and this is a four-door, and you could tell how cheap it was by the fact that they had to use a tie-down strap to keep the hood down. And I paid $500 for it. It lasted me 7 months. I put about $400 into it, and I got about 15,000 miles out of it. Then my next car was a 2000 Mercury Mystique. It had 131,000 miles when I got it. I paid $1,200 for it. I remember this one because it was a retired couple getting rid of their car, so I got a steal. So I put 41,000 miles on that in about a year, and I spent $2,400 in maintenance on it. So the next car after that is a 97 Mercury Cougar. It had 129,000 miles when I got it. I paid $800 for it. I put 26,000 miles on it. I spent $1,600 on maintenance for it. Let's see. Next car is a 2001 Chevy Cavalier. Got it with 159,000 miles. Put 42,000 miles on it. paid $1,700 for it, and I spent $3,150 in maintenance. Next car. This one actually lasted me forever. I had a 1999 Toyota Camry. I bought it with 230,000 miles. I paid $2,800 for it, and I put 87,000 miles on it over 2 years, and I put, let's see, yeah, $9,066 in maintenance costs. But that's over 2 years, so I think it ended up being like about $250 a month. Next car ended up being the complete opposite of the other car, which was totally reliable. This one ended up being a Super Lemon. I had a 2001 Subaru Outback that already had 252,000 miles on it. I put 10,000 miles on it, but I put a bunch of money into this because it needed to be fixed. I paid $2,300 for it. I ended up putting in another $2,200 in it, and the car lasted me a whole whopping 2 months. The head gasket blew, and anybody that's ever had a Subaru Outback from that time frame, they know the deal. The heads blow pretty regularly. So that lasted me a whole 2 months. And that kind of brings me to my current car, which is a 2007 Saturn Aura. I paid $2,100, and that's tax and everything for that. I bought it with 204K miles on it, 204,000 miles on it, and I've put 8,000 miles on it so far. But what I already know about this last vehicle is that I had a pre-purchase inspection done on it, and it's the only car that I ever had a pre-purchase inspection done on. And I mean, it kind of just lit up like a Christmas tree. It needed a transmission piece. I think it needed like some sort of solenoid. It needs exhaust pipe, catalytic converter, flex pipe. It's got suspension issues, and I can feel that the brakes are starting to come up. And okay, first of all, to anybody that didn't catch, I do deliveries. I've been doing deliveries for close to 30 years. You probably see that in the description for my channel. So because of that, I buy the cars cheap because they're basically throwaway cars. I mean, you don't ever want to buy a new car for doing deliveries. Not ever. If you want to use it for a long period of time, I would suggest to actually go the route of maybe like a 10 to 12-year-old hybrid, if you can afford it. If you can't, just get the best car you can pay for with cash and just go that route, because they're just going to end up being throwaway cars. I mean, right now, I'm putting on 800 miles a week on a car. So 40,000 miles to probably 40 to 45,000 miles a year. So, basically I've been doing that for the last 15 years. So why bother getting something new anymore? I mean, that's why I screwed up so badly with the newer cars that I got before. But this car, the 2007 Saturn Aura, I found out all the stuff that was wrong with it. So, flex pipe, exhaust, transmission part, brakes, suspension. And knowing all this, I know how to drive my car. So, I don't take it on the freeway. I don't do any excessive driving with it whatsoever. It's like when I'm done for the day doing deliveries, It barely gets driven anywhere. It's not a car I'm driving around for fun. This is a work use vehicle only. So it's why I would never tell people to finance a car they're using for delivery. And I've actually kind of priced all this stuff out. I actually used AI to tell me whether it was a good idea. And it's from a month-to-month expense, it's cheaper to do a Tesla. But overall, if you're planning on doing it for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you're going to put a lot of miles on it, and you're going to have to replace things out. Even on a Tesla, I mean, you're going to replace out tires, brakes. I think you have to lube brakes. I don't know how that works with Teslas. I've never owned one, but I know there is some maintenance involved. But I would never suggest to somebody to get a Tesla. I think the best option actually is a nice 10 to 12-year-old Toyota Prius. Maybe even, you could probably even go Toyota Highlander or something like that. You know, probably something under 10,000. I mean, I know most people that are probably doing deliveries as a side hustle probably wouldn't want to be spending 10,000 on a car anyway. So if you're trying to get something like a cash car for like $3,000, I'd probably suggest, as you would probably find on any Reddit forum for used cars or delivery vehicles, they'd probably tell you Toyota or Honda, you know, like a Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, even like some years of Mazda are pretty good. Pontiac Vibe for, I think, like late 2000s. It kind of just depends on what you're willing to sacrifice for gas mileage. I mean, I think the 10 to 12-year-old hybrid would be the most ideal, but it is also the most expensive. I mean, even for a 10 to 12-year-old Toyota Prius, you're probably still looking at $6,000 to $7,000, which is a little expensive. You're just using it as a second car just to do deliveries. But that's about it. It's all the kind of time I wanted to spend on it. But I thought it'd be interesting to put out there the list of vehicles that I've had over the years. So that's it. Thank you very much.